Let me go across to Anirudh Malpani, an angel investor. Dr. Malpani, you have also been slapped with an income tax notice?
So what happens is when they send the notice to the entrepreneur, they ask the entrepreneur to provide an explanation as regards the credit worthiness and reasonability of the investor to prove that the money which we put in is actually comes from reliable sources, and therefore we need to file our income tax returns in order to satisfy them that this is post-tax money which is being properly accounted for. Which we are happy to do, because I always think that, we think ourselves as angels, that we're trying to help a startup ecosystem grow. And this is something which the government needs to be doing, because entrepreneurs are good guys. We need to be creating jobs for the future. But the trouble is income tax officers are either stuck in the past, or they have their own compulsions. They have a particular way of thinking, and it's very hard for them to change that way. And as everyone knows, the moment you get a notice from the income tax officer, you always start worrying about what he is going to do. And often what they do is not very sensible or rational, irrespective of what documentation you provide.
Okay, so we've got our tax experts now joining us, Shashi Shekhar as well as Vidya Shankar here with us. Shashi, let me come to you. You've heard what the startups as well as the angel investors are saying. There seems to be confusion. The clarification from the DIPP secretary was that there can be no retrospective benefits that can be provided. Whatever will happen is if you've been registered with the DIPP post-2016 as part of the Startup India program, if you've been certified, then you can avail of the benefits. What is the way forward for some of these startups who've now petitioned the Finance Ministry via change.org, Shashi?
Right. So this is really, I would say, a weapon of mass destruction which has been handed over to the tax officers, and it's really affecting the genuine cases. The whole purpose behind angel tax, or what came to be known as angel tax, the original tax provisions was really to target the cases of money laundering, where people used to fund companies at a very super premium without explaining the source of that. So that's what is really happening. I think what the startups are doing already are lobbying against this. I think what the government really should do is to clarify that this weapon cannot be used against companies which have respectable investment.
What is the specific clarification? What is the specific clarification that you would like to see in the statute?
We would like the government to instruct the tax officers to not go after companies who have, let's say, investments from SEBI-registered VCs, or if there is a proper valuation report which justifies the value at which the shares have been subscribed.
But we just heard here from one of our startups, Nikund, saying that they have a valid DCF certificate which has been disregarded by the tax authorities. So, that doesn't seem to be a viable option. At least we've just heard that from one of the startups who's been slapped with an assessment order and a demand of 50 lakh rupees and the threat of a possible penalty as well.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm trying to say. So the government should clearly instruct the field officers that if there is a valid valuation report available, then it is not within the expertise of the tax officer to question that valuation report.
Okay. So let me go across to Vidya as well. Vidya, specifically when it comes to Section 56 as well as Section 68, what are the clarificatory amendments that you would like the Finance Minister to take forward in the budget?
Yeah, broadly, two areas, Shireen. One is in terms of this whole, interministerial board has been set up, right? And out of those 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 startups that has been recognized by DIPP, which is a government arm, only 100 have so far, 100 odd have been so far recognized for tax benefit. Now, if somebody like DIPP recognized them as genuine startups, whatever the conditions, 7 years, you've been operational, you've been less than 25 crore of turnover, that should be taken as sacrosanct. I mean, where is the need to go back again and, see if there's a genuine case or not when DIPP themselves has approved, all right? That's one. Two is in terms of, like Shashi mentioned, if you're raising capital from a SEBI-registered VC fund, where is the need to go back and question again on what the valuation is? It's, after all, a private contract.
Okay.
Right. And the second part is like if they're raising future rounds, and you already got a SEBI-registered VC fund in them, you need to let the wisdom of the existing investors at play. You shouldn't disturb that. All right. And the third point being that if you raise money from an NBFC or an individual or a UHNI who is a taxpayer himself, what is the need to go back and inquire if this is a genuine case all over? So and then I think you should also put a cap in terms of less than 10 crores or 15 crores. It really shouldn't be bothering if it's a genuine case or not.